She's giving you green lights. 14 signs she wants you to make a move, psychology tricks. When the right person smiles at you, the whole world feels like it's leaning in. Have you ever found yourself stuck in that quiet storm of uncertainty, trying to figure out whether a woman actually wants you to take the next step? Maybe you met someone who jolted your heartbeat like a sudden spark in a dark room. The chemistry felt real, almost impossible to ignore. Yet, here you are, days later, wondering if you imagined it. Here's the thing most men don't realize. When a woman is hoping you'll make a move, she rarely spells it out. Instead, she lets her interest slip through the cracks in her behavior. How she looks at you, how she carries herself around you, how often she finds reasons to talk, touch, linger, or simply be near you. Her signals are subtle, but very real if you know what to watch for. But hesitation can drain the moment dry. Wait too long, and the spark that once buzzed between you can fade into the background. Opportunities don't stay open forever, and nothing stings quite like thinking, I should have acted when I had the chance. That's why today we're breaking things down with clarity and confidence. These are 15 clear signs she's inviting you to make a move. If even a handful of these match what you're seeing, the green lights are glowing bright. Welcome to Stoicism. We are here to help you understand attraction, human behavior, and the deeper motives people rarely say out loud. Settle in, hit subscribe, and let's decode the signals that could change your love life for good. 1. She comes to you when you're alone. When a woman drifts toward you only when you're standing alone, don't brush it off as some wandering accident of fate, because it isn't. Be alert. That is a deliberate choice wrapped in quiet courage. She could stay with her friends, hide in the noise, or pretend not to notice you, but instead she approaches you in those private pockets of space where the world blurs and it's just the two of you. In female psychology, that's a sign that she wants your attention without the audience, without the pressure, without the shadows of other men watching. You must understand this isn't just about casual small talk. It's about her creating a controlled moment where she can study you, tease the tension, and see if you'll take the hint. Women rarely announce their interest directly. Instead, they use psychology tricks and subtle signals that sit right between confidence and risk. Coming to you when you're alone is her version of unlocking a door and then stepping back to see if you'll cross the threshold. Don't ignore the contrast. She seeks you out when the crowd is gone, not when it's watching. That difference matters. Be aware of how she behaves once she's there. If she lingers a little too long, if her fingers toy with her hair like she's brushing away invisible static, if her smile softens at the corners, she isn't just being polite. She's inviting you into a conversation that's half spoken and half silent. This is where psychology tricks and female psychology dance together, creating a push-pull rhythm meant to test your confidence. Don't wait for a neon sign. She already made the bold move by walking toward you. Your job is to read her energy carefully but with confidence. That is the moment where she's quietly asking, do you understand how to fall in love? Not in a dramatic way, but in the simple, human way where two people test the gravity between them. If she keeps finding excuses to stand near you, if she shifts her weight in your direction, if her eyes flick toward your lips for half a second, don't pretend you imagined it. Be the man who notices. Be the man who responds. You must not shrink back or overthink every detail. Instead, step into the opening she already created. Women reveal interest in softer brushstrokes than men expect, but when she chooses privacy over performance, that is her saying, your move, with all the warmth and tension packed into 3 unspoken words. In that moment, psychology tricks meet reality, female psychology meets opportunity, and the map of how to fall in love begins with something as simple as her choosing you when no one else is around. 2. She texts you late at night. Night carries its own kind of truth. When the world goes quiet and the noise fades, people stop pretending. They stop performing. They reveal what they actually feel. That is why a late-night text is never just a text. So pay attention. If a woman reaches out at 11 p.m., midnight, or even 2 a.m., and she isn't tossing you some lazy hey, but launching into a real conversation, you must recognize what is happening. She is choosing you when her guard is down. She is thinking about you when her mind has no reason to wander anywhere else. Don't underestimate that. Nighttime is the hour of honesty. People reflect. People imagine. People drift toward whatever warms their thoughts or stirs their pulse. If you're getting those late night messages on the regular, it isn't routine. It isn't boredom. It isn't a coincidence. Her curiosity is becoming interest, and her interest is becoming desire. This is how women signal comfort, trust, and soft vulnerability without saying the words out loud. A woman who reaches out in the dark isn't casually checking in. She's leaning toward you. She's opening a window. She's giving you the kind of green light that glows brighter each time you respond with confidence, warmth, and steady masculine energy. Don't overthink it. Be aware. A high-value man doesn't ignore patterns like these. A high-value man reads them and responds with intention. When you're trying to attract women, understanding these small signals matters far more than flashy lines or forced charm. Late-night texting is her quiet way of saying, "I trust you with my time. I trust you with my attention. And maybe, if you keep showing up like this, I might trust you with my heart." That is your cue. You must not drift into passivity. You must not treat it like nothing. You must match her openness with your own steady presence. Because when a woman lights up your phone at midnight, she's revealing something real. And a man grounded in his masculine energy knows exactly what that means. 3. She's already told her friends about you. When she tells her friends about you before you even take her out, treat it as a bright, deliberate signal. She is opening the gates. She is inviting you in. She is emotionally invested long before you make the first reservation. She will slip it into conversation like a tossed pebble, but you must hear the thunder behind it. "My friend asked what you do for work. I told my best friend something funny you said." These are not accidents. These are early declarations. Women do not talk about men who carry no weight in their hearts. They do not mention men they do not value. They do not introduce names that mean nothing. When your name circles inside her inner world, understand the shift. Her friends already know you exist. Some may have even searched for you online. She is testing the idea of you in her life, letting your presence echo inside her circle, trying on the sentence, "I'm seeing him," to feel how it fits. That is a green light. That is an invitation. That is momentum. You must step into it with an iron mind, guided by Old Stoic wisdom that whispers, accept what is offered, and act with clarity. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts, and right now her thoughts are colored with you." Do not hesitate. Do not second guess. In modern life, distraction is everywhere. People swipe past each other like shadows. When someone talks about you to their closest people, they are resisting that chaos. They are choosing focus. They are choosing you. Let that matter. Let that fuel decisive movement. You must respond with purpose, because Stoicism win becomes real only when intention becomes action. Seneca wrote, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." This moment is your opportunity. Be prepared. Don't retreat into fear. Don't wait for a perfect sign. You already have it. Her words are the sign. Her circle hearing your name is the sign. The repetition is the sign. In a world full of mixed signals, this one is clean, strong, unmistakable. Let's honor it with confidence. Let's honor it with clarity. Build an iron mind that sees what is in front of you instead of what you fear. Step forward. Reach out. Ask her out. Take the lead with respect and steadiness. You are not guessing. You are not imagining. You are reading the reality she is giving you. Old Stoic wisdom teaches that a man wins by mastering himself before mastering any moment. So master the hesitation. Master the doubt. Then move. That is how you claim victory in life and in love. That is how Stoicism win becomes a lived experience. If this opened your eyes, hit like, drop a comment, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. And make sure to subscribe for more insight that sharpens your confidence. Comment to remember, I attract people who value me. 4. She flirts back, naturally and often. When a woman flirts back with you naturally and often, don't ignore it, don't overthink it, and don't pretend it's random static in the air. Be aware. That is one of the clearest psychology tricks women use without even realizing they're using them, and you must pay attention because female psychology loves to speak in signals instead of speeches. A woman simply will not flirt back with a man she doesn't find appealing. She won't bother with playful teasing if she feels nothing. She won't mirror your tone unless she feels a spark. She won't let her fingers drift to her neck or let that soft smirk bloom unless something in her wants you a little closer. So if you tease her and she volleys it right back with that warm, almost musical rhythm, understand what's happening. That's chemistry pacing circles around you both. That's tension politely knocking on the door. That's curiosity pulling up a chair and whispering, "Well, are you going to do something about this or not?" Flirting is never just words. It's an exchange of energy, a small storm of glances and half grins, a gentle tug of war where nobody wants to win too fast. And if she stays in the game with you, if she keeps showing up with that same spark, she's quietly confirming that you've crossed her attraction threshold. Don't run from that. Don't freeze. Be the man who actually understands how to fall in love and how to lead the moment with confidence instead of clumsy urgency. That is the time to escalate just a little, not with big fireworks, but with subtle moves that speak louder. Lower your voice so she has to lean in. Hold eye contact for half a beat longer than usual. Compliment her vibe, her presence, her warmth. Instead of defaulting to the generic, "You look nice tonight," you must understand that female psychology responds to emotional texture more than surface level noise. Use that. Respect it. Enjoy it. And let your own presence tell her you're not a boy guessing at signals. You're a man who recognizes them. These small shifts, these simple psychology tricks woven into natural conversation, are exactly how to fall in love in real time without forcing a thing. So when she flirts back, don't miss the green light glowing right in front of you. Step into it with intention, with charm, and with a quiet boldness that tells her you see the connection too. 5. She acts warm around you. Warmth is not a small clue. It is one of the oldest signals in human history. Long before people knew how to flirt, warmth was the quiet fire that revealed interest. When a woman feels drawn to you, her whole presence shifts. It is almost like her body remembers something her mind has not said out loud yet. Be alert to this. Be steady. Be the high-value man who pays attention. Her energy softens. That is the first sign. She is not tense around you. She is not guarded. She is not acting like she needs to protect herself. Instead, her eyes rest on you with a calm glow. Her shoulders drop. Her breathing slows. Her face relaxes. She lets herself simply be there with you. Her voice changes too. It becomes gentler, warmer, smoother at the edges. When a woman raises her tone with you, it usually means she is bracing herself. When she softens her tone, she is opening the door. This shift is primal. You cannot force it. You must notice it. She leans in, not always in some dramatic movie way. Sometimes it is a small tilt of the head. Sometimes it is her knees pointing toward you. Sometimes she steps closer so she can hear you better even though she already heard you just fine. Leaning in is her body's way of saying, "I feel good near you." This is how women reveal they feel your masculine energy and are not afraid of it. She laughs easily. Not because you suddenly turned into a stand-up comic, but because she feels light around you. When a woman feels comfortable, her laughter flows without friction. She is not calculating. She is not performing. She lets the moment move her. That is real interest. Her whole presence feels open. Be careful with this one. Do not confuse politeness with openness. A polite woman gives you courtesy. An open woman gives you access. She lets you see her eyes for longer than needed. She shares small personal things. She listens when you talk instead of waiting to reply. She welcomes your presence instead of tolerating it. Now look at the contrast. When women are not interested, the air gets cold. You feel it fast. Short replies. Body turned away. Eyes drifting to her phone. You talk and she fades. That is the chill of someone who does not feel drawn to you. Do not chase that. A high-value man does not melt himself for cold hands. If she responds to you with real enthusiasm, you must respect what that means. She feels safe. She feels curious. She feels pulled in by your masculine energy. She may not say it out loud, but her warmth is speaking for her. That is the green light. That is the invitation. That is your moment to stand tall, stay grounded, and let your presence attract women without force. Warmth is not an accident. Notice it, honor it, respond to it like the man you are becoming. 6. She initiates contact. She initiates contact because she wants you to see what she's already decided, and you must understand that nothing in this world is random when a woman presses send first. A simple, "Hey, how's your day?" or a meme that lands in your inbox is a flare fired into the night, a signal meant for you alone, and as Marcus Aurelius taught through Old Stoic wisdom, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts, which means her actions are not accidents, they are choices, and you must treat them as such. When she reaches out, she is revealing interest, opening the door, inviting movement, and you cannot ignore it because in modern life, where everyone is distracted and buried in notifications, a woman choosing to reach for you is giving up her most valuable currency, attention. That is your cue, that is your green light, and you must step forward with an iron mind because hesitation kills momentum, hesitation kills attraction. Hesitation kills opportunity. These little interactions are not little at all. They are breadcrumbs, and breadcrumbs are the map, the path, the trail she wants you to follow. And if you pretend not to see them, you send the silent message that you are blind to signals or unsure of yourself, and a man who wants to master his world cannot afford that. As Seneca said, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity, and this is your preparation meeting opportunity. This is Stoicism when in real time. This is where you prove that you read the signs life puts before you. Don't delay, don't freeze, don't talk yourself out of what is obvious. Let her initiation remind you that confidence grows when you act, not when you wait. Let it remind you that men who lead do not stumble over doubt. Let it remind you that when she chooses to speak first, she is tired of waiting for you to notice her interest, and modern dating gives no rewards to the man who sits back hoping clarity will fall into his lap. You must respond with intention, with directness, and with presence, because presence is power. Follow the breadcrumbs, follow the energy, follow the signal she has already sent. Let your actions reflect the calm strength taught. In Old Stoic wisdom, let your decisiveness reveal an iron mind trained for victory, and let your boldness be the answer she has been waiting for. Master this moment, master yourself, and you master the connection. If she's initiating, she's not being random. She's leaving a trail and hoping you'll finally walk it. Don't keep drifting on the sidelines while she does all the subtle heavy lifting. Comment this so you claim it for yourself. I follow the signs, and I move with confidence. 7. She fixes her hair or clothes when you come near. When a woman suddenly becomes a quiet whirlwind of micro-adjustments the moment you step into her orbit, pay attention, because that is one of those psychology tricks that hides in plain sight. Don't brush it off as simple vanity. Be aware of what's really happening beneath the surface. When she straightens her posture like she's lining up for a snapshot, smooths her hair as if a breeze dared to touch it, tugs her outfit into place, or steals a quick glance at her reflection, she isn't performing, she's revealing. These tiny, almost secretive motions are her body's way of whispering that you matter, that your presence hits a little harder than she intended. You must understand that female psychology often shows interest not through loud declarations, but through soft, instinctive signals that slip out before the brain can tame them. That is the sweet paradox of attraction. It makes people bold and shy at the same time. This is not a woman trying to win the global beauty pageant. This is a woman trying to look good for one specific man, and she hopes you notice without her having to tell you. Don't miss the contrast. She may appear calm on the outside, but inside she's doing quiet cartwheels, wondering if she looks just right while praying she doesn't seem too obvious. Be smart enough to read the clues and confident enough to respond. In these moments, psychology tricks, female psychology, and the riddle of how to fall in love all dance together like a coded message meant only for you. Her grooming gestures are attraction flickering through cracks she can't cover, a tiny rehearsal of intimacy she hasn't voiced yet. You must treat these cues with respect, not arrogance. Don't ignore the softness behind them. Be the man who sees her effort, who feels the shift in the air when she instinctively prepares herself just because you walked in. When she brushes a strand of hair behind her ear for the third time, when she straightens her shoulders like she's meeting destiny instead of you, understand that this is her saying, I care what you think. That is your green light glowing. And if you learn to read psychology tricks with patience, understand female psychology with empathy, and grasp the subtle art of how to fall in love with clarity rather than confusion, you'll find that her small gestures speak a language far louder than words. 8. Her body language opens up toward you. Body language doesn't lie. People do. Words do. Excuses do. But the body speaks in a dialect older than fire and sharper than instinct. You must learn to read it if you want to understand when a woman is giving you quiet green lights. When she's into you, her body opens like a door left on purpose. This openness is subtle, gentle, honest, relaxed arms, not limp, not careless, just soft, as if she's telling her nervous system he feels safe. Shoulders facing you, not at the room, not toward the exit, toward you. That is the body's way of saying, I'm choosing this moment. Legs uncrossed. This matters more than men think. Crossing creates barriers. Uncrossing tells you she's lowering the drawbridge. Eyes finding yours. Not hunting, not scanning, not avoiding. Just drifting toward your gaze again and again, like gravity remembering its job. A woman doesn't keep looking at a man she doesn't want to notice. Now look at the opposite, because you must be honest with yourself. When a woman isn't interested, the body closes like winter shutters. Crossed arms. A shield. A wall. A quiet don't. Feet pointing away. The feet tell the truth even when the face smiles. Watch them closely. Stiff posture. No softness, no leaning in, no curiosity rising between you. Her body is holding the line. You must understand the contrast. Open bodies invite. Closed bodies protect. Be the man who observes both without ignoring reality. And here is the subtle magic. If she mirrors your movements, she is literally syncing with your presence. You lift your glass, she lifts hers. You lean in, she shifts closer. You relax, she relaxes. Human beings mirror those they feel connected to. Women mirror men they feel drawn toward, men whose masculine energy feels steady and grounded. So pay attention, not with paranoia, with calm, quiet awareness. That is what a high-value man does. He listens to the unspoken. He notices patterns. He reads the room, the rhythm, and the woman in front of him. Don't chase signals that aren't there. Don't pretend a closed body is secretly begging for attention. Be disciplined. Be present. Be truthful with yourself. When a woman opens her body toward you, she's handing you a green light with no words attached. Use that moment wisely. Stand tall in your masculine energy, breathe, and guide the interaction forward with confidence. Women feel attraction through safety, clarity, and presence. Offer those things, and you will naturally attract women without forcing anything at all. 9. She holds deep, lingering eye contact. When a woman locks onto you with deep, lingering eye contact, she is sending a signal as clear as a lighthouse beam, and you must read it with the precision of Old Stoic wisdom, because this is not random, not accidental, not polite habit, but deliberate emotional exposure that says, step forward. Long eye contact is a psychological doorway. Science calls it oxytocin, the bonding hormone, but you should think of it as a green light that glows brighter each second she holds your gaze. A 3 to 4 second look, a shy shift away, then a return to you again is one of the strongest signs of attraction you will ever see, and you must not ignore it, because ignoring it is how opportunities collapse. As Emerson said, the world belongs to the energetic, and that truth applies here. Energy meets energy, presence meets presence, confidence meets confidence. When she looks at you like that, she is silently saying, I see who you are. I want you to see who I am, and in a modern world full of distractions, screens, and noise, her eyes cutting through the chaos are a gift. Don't look away. Don't shrink. Don't pretend you didn't notice. Match her energy. Hold the gaze. Let a calm smile rise like a quiet victory. This is where Stoicism win becomes real, when you control yourself, not her, when you master your reaction, not the moment, when your iron mind stands firm while lesser men fumble. You must understand that attraction is communicated more in seconds than in speeches, more in presence than in technique, and more in courage than in charm. Let her see that you are steady, that you are grounded, that you live by old Stoic wisdom rather than modern hesitation. Let the tension build, not as pressure, but as power. She is opening the door. You must walk through it. That is your task. That is your chance. You are not guessing. You are not hoping. You are reading the signal, respecting the signal, and responding to the signal. As Seneca wrote, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity, and this is one of those rare moments where preparation means being a man who knows his worth and opportunity arrives disguised as a woman's unbroken gaze. So let your iron mind steady your pulse. Let Stoicism win over doubt, and step into the moment with confidence, dignity, and the quiet certainty that you are built for this. And if you find today's content very interesting, please give me a word of encouragement by commenting "very interesting" in the comments section. That is a huge motivation for us. Thank you. 10. She smiles a lot around you. When a woman smiles at you in that easy, some through the window way, don't brush it off as casual politeness. Be alert, because that glow in her eyes is her nervous system sending out tiny flares of pleasure, and that is female psychology in action. The kind of signal you must not overlook if you've been trying to learn psychology tricks or figure out how to fall in love without stumbling around in the dark. Don't assume it's accidental when she brightens the moment you walk into the room, or when her laugh lands quicker and warmer than it does with anyone else. That is emotional investment hiding in plain sight, subtle but steady. The kind of consistency people simply do not fake. Be aware of how her face softens, how her cheeks lift, how her whole mood pivots toward you like a compass needle hitting true north, because every real smile she gives you is a quiet hint, a gentle tug, a whispered yes tucked inside a harmless expression. And understanding that truth is part of decoding female psychology and mastering the everyday psychology tricks that make human connection feel less like guesswork and more like clarity. Don't get lost in overthinking. Be bold enough to see the contrast between a polite smile that flickers and dies and a genuine one that stays lit long enough to warm the air around her. Because that is the kind of signal men miss when they assume attraction has to be loud to be real. You must treat those smiles like breadcrumbs leading you somewhere promising, not like random sparks in the dark. Be steady, be observant, and let the pattern speak for itself. If she looks at you, smiles, looks away, then loops back again with that same bright expression, don't pretend it means nothing. That is attraction making a soft entrance. Every authentic smile she sends your way is a tiny act of courage on her part, a small reveal of interest, a sweet hint that she may already be thinking about how to fall in love with you or at least wondering what it would feel like if you made the next move. Don't dismiss that. Don't ignore the way her joy seems to rise one notch higher around you than around anyone else. Be the man who reads the room and responds with confidence rather than hesitation. You must understand that consistent warmth is the pulse of female psychology, and if she keeps offering it, she's not just being nice. She's giving you green lights. 11. She invites you to run errands with her. This one looks tiny from the outside, a pebble, but pick it up and you'll notice it has the weight of something far more personal. When she asks, "Want to come grocery shopping?" or "I need to fill my gas tank. Want to ride along?" Don't mistake it for a chore request. Don't brush it off as casual boredom. That is not what's happening. She is giving you a small window into her daily rhythm, the quiet heartbeat of her life. And a woman does not open that door for just anyone. Not if she respects her peace. Not if she's guarding her heart. A high-value man understands this. He doesn't ignore the small invitations disguised as nothing. He knows the small things are the real things. He knows this is where connection hides, quietly in plain sight. When she says, "Come with me," she is really saying, "Let me see how you fit into my world. Let me feel your presence next to me when nothing dramatic is happening. Let me test how our energies blend when life is simple." This is comfort-seeking behavior. This is trust in its softest form. This is interest without fireworks, but with a slow burning flame. Be aware. Be present. Be the kind of man who recognizes subtlety instead of stumbling past it. A woman doesn't invite a man she feels nothing for to walk beside her between the cereal aisle and the checkout line. She doesn't ask a random guy to sit in her passenger seat while her car hums under the glow of gas station lights. She does this because she wants your company woven into her ordinary moments. She wants to see your masculine energy in everyday motion, not just when you're trying to impress her. She wants to experience the real you, the unplugged you, the version that shows up without armor. Don't underestimate this signal. You must pay attention to it. If you want to attract women in a deeper, more genuine way, notice how they try to fold you into their routines. That is often where affection begins. That is where closeness builds without a word. That is where a high-value man earns trust through presence, not performance. So when she asks you to tag along on an errand, don't overthink it. Don't treat it as an inconvenience. Treat it as what it really is, a green light, a quiet invitation, a chance to let your masculine energy sit beside hers while the world stays simple and unhurried. And that, surprisingly, is where many great stories start. 12. She makes physical contact. She makes physical contact because she is giving you a green light, and you must understand that instantly, decisively, and without hesitation, because touch is never random, never accidental, never meaningless, and as the Old Stoic wisdom teaches, the mind adapts and converts to its own purposes the obstacle to our acting Marcus Aurelius, which means you must stop doubting and start seeing clearly when she reaches for your arm, your shoulder, or brushes against you in a way that lingers. Longer than courtesy, she is crossing the invisible wall between strangers and potential lovers, and you must recognize that moment as a sign of desire, a sign of trust, a sign of permission. In modern life, where we bury signals under screens, schedules, and endless noise, physical touch becomes a bold announcement, a flare in the dark, a direct message without words, and you cannot ignore it, you cannot overthink it, you cannot fall into hesitation because hesitation kills momentum. Hesitation ruins connection. Hesitation breaks the spark you have earned. Instead, let's apply Stoicism when thinking to cut through doubt and read the truth in front of you, because fortune favors the bold, Virgil. And boldness here means noticing her leaning closer when she laughs, her hand resting just a second longer on your forearm, her playful tap, her curious tug at your sleeve, because these are not accidents, these are invitations. These are psychological green lights meant to test. Whether you carry an iron mind or a wavering one, do not retreat, do not apologize for her interest, do not pretend you didn't feel the spark, because that is how opportunities die, and you are not here to let opportunity die. You are here to rise, to act, to claim the victory in front of you, and victory in this moment is simple. Match her energy with calm confidence, steady presence, and respectful assertiveness, because you must show her that you understand her signal and that you know how to lead without forcing, without chasing, without begging. Use this moment to step forward in a controlled, powerful way, guided by Old Stoic wisdom that teaches mastery over fear, clarity over confusion, action over doubt. Remember that modern life rewards men who can read subtle cues, men who stay grounded, men who build an iron mind through purpose and awareness, because in a world full of noise, clarity becomes strength. So when she touches you, read it, trust it, respond with confidence, because that is the path, that is the invitation, that is the moment you must seize if you want to live with intention, win with stoicism, win discipline, and master the connection right in front of you. If this opened your eyes, hit like, drop a comment, and share it with someone who needs the hint. Subscribe for more insight that sharpens your instincts. Comment to remember, a lingering touch is never an accident. 13. She suggests hanging out or initiates a date. That alone should ring like a quiet bell in your mind, because women rarely toss out invitations unless they've already run the numbers in their heads and decided you're worth the emotional investment. When she says things like, "we should grab a drink," or "you haven't tried that restaurant," let's go, she's not just tossing random plans into the air. She's opening the emotional drawbridge with a gentle, strategic move rooted in female psychology. Almost like she's signaling, without fireworks or a marching band, that she feels safe enough to step closer. Don't overthink it. Don't doubt it. Don't pretend it's casual when it's clearly a breadcrumb in the story of how to fall in love. Be alert. Be steady. Be smart enough to recognize that this is one of those quiet psychology tricks women use, not to manipulate, but to test whether you're capable of showing up with presence and backbone. That is the moment when you must respond with calm confidence, because hesitation can feel like rejection, and fumbling the energy makes her think she misread the entire vibe. A woman who initiates plans is trying to shorten the distance between you. She's signaling interest while still giving you the space to lead. So don't freeze. Don't act surprised. Don't downplay it like you're negotiating a boring calendar meeting. A woman using invitation as a green light is playing on a subtle blend of instinct and intention. It's female psychology operating like a lighthouse beam, letting you know the coast is clear. See these seemingly simple invitations as quiet sparks in the blueprint of how to fall in love, where she's checking if you can match her energy without wobbling. You must treat these signals with the seriousness of a man who understands psychology tricks not as games, but as translations of her comfort, her curiosity, and her willingness to let you in. Respond with a tone that says you expected this, you're ready for this, and you appreciate her boldness. Say yes smoothly. Set a day. Choose a time. Show that her initiative lands on steady ground. Because when a woman extends an outing, she's revealing a small but meaningful truth. She wants proximity. She wants familiarity. She wants to see you in the real world rather than just in conversation. And that is your cue to step up with clarity, intention, and a steady pulse. 14. She gets nervous around you. Even the most confident woman can turn into a delightful bundle of static electricity when a man she likes walks into the room. And if you're paying attention, you'll see the signs flickering like neon arrows pointing straight at you. She might stumble over her words. She might twist her hair like it's a radio dial she's trying to tune. She might drop something that wasn't even slippery. She might laugh a little too hard at a joke you barely finished. That is attraction shaking her system. Think of it like this. Her heart is trying to sprint while her brain is still tying its shoelaces. When a woman feels drawn to a man's masculine energy, she gets tiny glitches, and those glitches are pure gold if you know how to read them. Don't mistake her nervousness for disinterest. Don't assume she's clumsy by nature. Be wiser than that. A high-value man learns to see the difference between fear and excitement, between uncertainty and desire. You must remember, nervousness is what happens when her feelings move faster than her logic. Picture this. She's usually composed, calm, collected. But around you, she turns into a live wire. Why? Because you attract women without even trying, and her body is reacting before her mind can catch up. Now here's the important part. If you ease her nerves with steady presence, she'll connect that calm to you. That is how attraction deepens. That is how trust begins. Be her anchor, not her storm. Be grounded. Be patient. Be the kind of man who doesn't gloat when he notices her blush, but quietly appreciates it. Don't tease her in a way that makes her shut down. Don't lean into her nervousness like it's a trick to exploit. Be the man who guides her back to comfort with a slow smile, a relaxed tone, and unhurried confidence. Because when you study the moment, she feels safe. And when she feels safe, she can follow her curiosity instead of fighting her anxiety. That's when she lets the real sign show. The soft looks, the playful touches, the tiny invitations you can only notice if you're not too busy trying to impress her. A truly high-value man doesn't chase validation. He creates presence. He radiates masculine energy that tells her, I see you. No rush. And that calm is exactly what helps her lean in, not pull away. So pay attention to the nervous laughs, the little fumbles, the fluttery moments when she tries too hard to act normal. They're not flaws. They're signals. Signals that she's interested. Signals that she's hoping you notice. Signals that tell you she wants you to make a move, but doesn't want to say it out loud. Learn to read those tremors. Learn to respond with steadiness. You must become the calm in her chaos. Do that, and you won't just attract women. You'll attract the right woman who's already trying to hold herself together around you. Thanks for watching all the way through. When you notice these signs, trust what you're seeing. Don't let your mind complicate something that's actually simple. Real confidence shows up in calm, steady action. If she's giving you these signals, she's already chosen you. The next step is yours. Move forward with respect, clarity, and honesty. If this video helped you, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment about which signs stood out to you. It really helps the channel grow and lets me bring you more solid content. See you in the next video. Stay confident, stay grounded, and make your move.